Let's discover the hidden tracks, el otro lado de la historia. Esto es Side B, un podcast original de Monofus Magazine, donde Pau y Barbie te llevan a descubrir el lado oculto de la música y de sus protagonistas, con charlas divertidas y sin filtros para conocer la historia, curiosidades, spoilers y mucho más de las personalidades de la industria de la música. Side B, temporada 1, episodio 10. Shawn James.
Hi, Shawn. Nice to meet you. I'm Barbie.
Hello. How you doing?
Very well. Are you ready?
I'm ready. We've been preparing, rehearsing, getting everything ready to go. So yeah, we're very excited to come back.
Well, break a leg. Our guest today is a natural-born storyteller who blends the raw straight into blues, a mystery of dark folk, and a voice that feels like a literal force of nature. And, well, became the anthem of the legendary video game The Last of Us Part 2, and
Yeah.
also appears at the HBO series, right?
It does, yeah.
Now he's back with a brand new, deeply emotional album called Passage, released just a few weeks ago. He made his Stand in Mexico debut back in 2024, and now this July 29, he returns to the Foro Indie Rocks stage to share his music straight for the soul. And where? We are talking about the one and only Shawn James. Welcome, Shawn. She's my partner in crime, Pau, and I'm Barbie, and this is IP of Monofus Magazine. It's so incredible to have you here with us. Welcome.
Yeah. Thank you guys for taking the time. It truly means the world. You know, last time was the first time we ever played in Mexico, and it was absolutely incredible. So we're very much looking forward to coming back and seeing everyone again and having a magical night.
Well, to kick the things off for the people that are just discovering your universe today, if you had to describe the soul of your music using three elements or feelings instead of music genders, what would they be?
I would say catharsis is one of them. Another is passion and big emotion. You know, it's a difficult question to put into three words, but catharsis, because I feel like the music releases something and it helps you feel something deeper. And passion, we do everything to the best of our ability. And when we play a song, we don't just play it the same way every time. It has to be deeply felt and emotional, because the music is dealing with a lot of heavy emotions. So, yeah.
Hello, Shawn. This is Pau. Nice to meet you.
Hey.
So, every great story has a beginning. If you could go back to the very early days when you were just starting to make music in Chicago, what is one core memory or lesson from that younger Shawn that you still carry with you on stage today?
That's a great question. I would say, one of the first lessons I learned is when performing in front of people, like one of the first times I ever did it. I was nervous, I was anxious in the very beginning. And something that I realized is, you care about the people out there that are watching. But one of the biggest lessons is, if you really want it to be authentic and genuine and real and impact people, you kind of have to lose yourself in the performance. So you almost can't think too much about what's going on out there with people listening. You have to really be able to lose yourself in your own performance and feel it for real. That's one of the biggest lessons I ever learned when I first started playing out with people. Because, everyone at first has some moments of overthinking and overanalyzing. But I think once you let go of that and you lean into just playing and singing from the heart, nothing can go wrong.
And actually, that's something beautiful, but because it truly connects. And well, your discography is massive and deeply rich. But if a new listener want to understand the absolute DNA of Shawn James through just four songs from your entire career, which ones should they play right now?
Yeah, we have a lot of songs. I've released over 100 songs the last 14 years of doing music. And it goes anywhere from like heavy rock and roll and metal almost to folk ballads to blues and everything in between. But I think if you want to, let's say, sum it up with 3 or 4 songs, I would say Through the Valley for sure. It's a classic. It's more of that darker folk emotional song. Another one I would say is Curse of the Fold. It's a very kind of Western rock anthemic kind of song with a big chorus, and that very much is a big feel of what we do live. And then if you wanted another one, I would say something like Haunted. The song Haunted is a very much more electric guitars, more rock. It's, our sound goes all over the place. But those three, I would say, if you listen to those, you would get a good idea of what we were bringing.
I love that top three of songs you choose.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, now let's talk about your relationship with Mexico. You first played here in 2024, and
Yeah.
it felt like there was an instant connection with the crowd. On July 29th, you will be back at Foro Indie Rocks in Mexico City. What went through your mind when you realized you'd be returning?
Yeah, I want to back up a little bit because you said the instant connection with the audience the first time. And that's something we don't expect. When we go to a new country, a new place, we don't know what to expect, right? You see comments on social media and everything like that, but you don't know till you get there. And immediately when we took the stage in Mexico and felt the energy of the people, and they were just singing along with us, and you could tell that it meant something to them. It was important to them, and it obviously impacted them. And there's no greater feeling than when you're on stage bearing your soul and you can see other people understanding it and connecting with it. So that was one of the most beautiful moments. And it's always a shock, especially in another country. But yeah, returning to Mexico City, when I found out, the gig was accepted and we were going to be coming back on the 29th, it was just happiness and joy. Honestly, immediately I was like, ooh, okay, now I know what to expect. Now I know people are going to be there and dialed in. So it made me look at the set and maybe get a little bit more creative about things we could do, bringing back maybe some older songs that we didn't do last time, bringing some newer material from the new album Passage, and everything in between. So I think we're a little bit more prepared this time in regards to crafting an experience live. So we're very excited. And the food, don't get me started.
There's many wonderful things to come back. And actually, talking about that, about your new album Passage, it truly feels like a journey of transformation. We love asking this because it helps us visualize the music. If Passage were a physical place instead of an album, what would it look like? What's the landscape?
You know, these are good questions. These are good questions. But given that it's Mexico, I was in Mexico, not playing, but I was in Mexico about 10 years ago with my wife, and we visited this beautiful cenote. And I can't remember exactly where. I think it was on the eastern coast, and there was this beautiful cenote, and we went down there, and being inside of that and looking up and being surrounded by trees and the sky, but also water all around and nature. A lot of my music, I tend to get reflective and nostalgic when I'm in nature and think about the past and what's coming. And so I would say someplace in nature, and maybe a cenote, because that was absolutely beautiful when we were there before.
Mystical
It's a
magic.
really good place.
Yeah.
Well, now let's talk about the internet culture for a second. Lately,
Yeah.
there's been a hilarious trend on social media. It's called AI versus Mexico, where people joke about how Mexico always react in the wildest, funniest, and most passionate ways to literally everything. Since
Mm.
you have explored level,
I think the biggest thing that differentiates, Latin America and Mexico and even South America as well. I noticed it. It's really the passion of the people. You guys are very emotional, passionate people in general. When you like something, you really like it and you scream it to the world and you embody it. And that, I feel like some places in the world, for instance, there's been a couple places we played. I don't want to say where, right? Because I don't want to call anyone out. But for instance, we'd play these places and people would be silent during the show. And at the end of a song, it'd be like, like a little quick hand clap. And then at the end of the show, people would come up to me and be like, that was the best show I've ever seen. And I was like, really? Because we didn't feel that on stage. You didn't let us. So I feel like the most beautiful thing is when you're not just performing for people. It feels like there's an exchange of energy. It goes back and forth. We give you the energy and you return it. And that is something we experience the most in Mexico and Latin America in general, because I think the culture and how you guys are as a culture, it comes through in your emotions and your character and how you react to things and participate in things that are happening. So I don't know exactly the reason why, but I have a feeling it's a cultural thing in general.
Yeah, exactly. And talking about, or well, speaking about our culture, your music is filled with ghosts, folklore, and a deep respect for the roots. Mexico is a country where we literally celebrate death and our ancestors. Did you feel that any specific or share any spiritual energy when you play here for the very first time?
Absolutely. I will say there was one moment in particular where it really just connected. And so in 2023, we put out this album called Honor and Vengeance, which is like a Western folk rock album about outlaws and bounty hunters. And it starts in the US and then they go into Mexico. And if you listen to the album, the musicality shifts when they enter into Mexico. We incorporate some of the songs and some of the influences of the Mexican culture and music in general. And one of the songs in particular that I wrote is called Muerte mi amor, and it's a song. It's kind of a love song to death, in not in a depressing way, but in a beautiful way that says, we are all going to die someday. So, what if we came to term with it earlier and accepted that death is going to happen and it's not something to be upset about or sad about? It's something to embrace. And if we embrace it early, then maybe it'll make our life a little bit better and sweeter now. And I'll never forget when we played that song and the Spanish verse came up, and everybody was singing along with me. I had not experienced that anywhere else in that way before, and it was just a truly beautiful emotional experience that I don't know what to say. Words can't put it. It was a moment, something to experience.
Well, now speaking of the tour, you also be doing a VIP meet and greet experience,
Yeah.
giving fans the chance to connect with you a little more personally. What
Yeah.
is the coolest, funniest, or most unexpected thing a fan has ever said to you during one of those moments?
Okay, this one actually happened in Mexico. So we were in Guadalajara, and I don't remember the lady's name, but she showed up to the VIP. They opened the doors, and she's the first one in. And she's this little woman, smaller woman, very tiny, and she's wearing a beard, a hat. She's wearing everything dressed exactly like me, just to mess with me, to make me laugh. And that was one of the funniest moments I've ever seen. And she gave me, I don't remember, but there's this stuffed doll of this man that is prominent in Mexico. I can't remember the name. You guys probably know it. He was like a pharmacist or a doctor or something.
Oh, Dr.
Dr.
Simi.
Simi, maybe?
Yes.
Yes, 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 yes. So I received a couple of those, but that had to be the funniest moment because I was not expecting it. Here's this woman with a beard and a mustache, and she comes up to me and she starts singing like me, and I was like, oh my God, it was kind of like a beautiful moment of letting go of the pressure, and it felt like a friend. It was beautiful. It was funny.
Yeah, actually, there is a very wonderful. Now it's a tradition, but it's very funny. Fans are very dedicated to create those tiny, those
I
tiny
know.
fountains. And
Yeah, I
now,
loved it.
yes, sorry, I interrupted you. But
No, it's
now,
okay. It's okay.
going a little more deep into the tour, we know that touring means spending a lot of time on the road. If you had to pick one of your songs from Passage to the perfect soundtrack for driving through the chaotic traffic of Mexico City, which one will it be?
Ooh, that's a good question. See, I've got to think now. I've got to think. So I don't think it can be anything too heavy because that's going to be road rage, right? But I would say, if you're going through traffic and you're annoyed and you need to calm down and you need to kind of, relax a bit, tired of trying probably because it's a song talking about being burnt out and tired of trying, and you could apply it to tired of traffic, you could rephrase it. So yeah, that one, there's kind of a peaceful feel to that one that kind of is calming and beautiful. So I would say tired of trying for sure.
I
No.
really want to know if you have a Mexican word that is your favorite.
Ooh. Now, see, I've been learning Spanish slowly, very, very slowly. I've been trying, but a special word. Um, I'm trying to remember the word I'm thinking of. Um, it's a word for passion, and I can't remember, but it's applied to like passion in performance or passion in. Oh man, I can't think of the word right now.
Well, we have a different word, so it comes to mind too many. Some of them not are so good, but they're positive, but bad words.
Oh, let me hear it. Let me hear it. What is it?
I think that I have to be most part
Okay,
of that.
okay, okay, okay. It's in words because I'm learning the language, right? And I don't want to offend. I mean, I just know the basics right now, and so I would say otra vez because I love more and I want to do more and again and again and again. So otra vez right now, just because I'm excited to come back and have more experience, but I hope to have a better answer for you next time when I learn a little bit more, to be honest.
I know that you're going to find another personal favorite. And all right, Sean, we're going to slightly shift mood now because we've got just a beautiful into this relaxing time between mates. This final section is called The Light of the Dark. Just quick answers, okay? The
Hey,
very first thing that pops into your head. Ready? Yeah. Well, let's imagine someone is about to hear Shawn James for the very first time. Which song should they start with?
Curse of the Fold.
A sound or an instrument that automatically makes you feel at home.
Acoustic guitar.
What do you hope people take home after the show besides the music?
A release, emotion. Yeah.
A part of the music industry that you are completely tired of.
AI. The new AI. Yeah.
The one Mexican song, sorry, the one Mexican food or snack you've been craving since 2024.
Mulitas.
An unexpected musician or band that you would like to share the stage with or have a collaboration that nobody could ever imagine?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'm going to say Gojira, the metal band.
That will be insane but magical at the time. I can imagine so much. I don't know why. But the last
Yeah.
one, the song that you have been listening the most these days.
Man, the song I've been listening to the most these days. Shoot, you got me. Now I listen to so much music. There is an artist called Wisp, and there is a song called, I think it's something with light. I can't remember, but I listened to that one so much. This artist named Wisp. Yeah.
Well, and before we let you go, we need some exclusive details, any spoilers, surprises, or secrets you want to give us about July 29th, the show at Foro Indie Rocks.
Yeah, like I said, we are going to be playing some new songs, some old songs, bringing back some stuff. But one of my favorites to perform live that we are going to be working on is the end of the record. The last song is called Let Me Go. And it is a very intense song. And that one will be happening for sure. We cannot wait to play that and feel the energy from that one.
We're very excited to listen all that wonderful playlist. It's not going to be wonderful, the set list. And last but not least, would you like to invite everyone to the show and let them know that where they can follow you on social media and where they can stream Passage and the rest of your wonderful music?
Absolutely. We are absolutely excited to be coming back to Mexico City at Foro Indie Rocks on July 29th. And last time we were there, it was incredible. And I think this time's going to be even better. If you want to hear the new music that we just released, you can listen everywhere you stream music, whether that's Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal. You go to my website, ShawnJamesMusic.com, and it has every link. There's also merchandise like vinyl records. We'll be bringing them as well. So, yeah, we're excited. We cannot wait to come and have incredible experiences again in Mexico. So, muchas gracias, amigos.
Well, thank you so much, Shawn. It was a beautiful conversation. I hope we see you in July.
Absolutely. I hope to see you guys there. It's going to be fun.
We'll be there waiting. We'll be looking forward to seeing with you, and it's going to be amazing.
Gracias, gracias.
Thank you so much for this wonderful time. And also, can you remember the username of your social media and Instagram and on other platforms? Just to everyone stay connected with you?
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to follow me on Instagram, it's at Shawn James Music. And if it's on Facebook, it's at Shawn James Soul. And yeah, meet me on social media, send me a message. I run everything. I would love to chat with you. Thank you.
Well, he was Shawn James, and this was Side B, Manifest Magazine, and How and Barbie. And thank you so much, Shawn.
Thank you. See you guys later.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Of course, of course.